Hello guys and welcome back to Learning Forensic Science with Anchal Kapoor. So I am starting up this series whereby I would be taking each and every drug of abuse and I would be teaching you not only the forensic perspective or the chemical tests that are performed to detect those drug of abuse, but also what impact they cause, what are the active principal components of those drugs, and I would be teaching you so that you can clear your answers in UGC NET JRF exam or the Fact Plus exam that is coming so soon. So starting up with the first drug of abuse, that is cannabis. You might not have heard the term cannabis, but you must have heard anything between ganja, charas, bhang, majoon, or you must have heard about hashish, hashish oil. You must have heard about weed, Mary Joan, also termed as MJ, Dagga. Okay, all these drugs are a part that are derived from this plant cannabis. So do you know what cannabis actually means? If I talk about cannabis, the term cannabis is actually a scientific name for the plant Cannabis sativa. So Cannabis sativa is a plant and this is the scientific name of that plant. This plant is actually monospecific in nature. What do you mean by that the plant is monospecific? Monospecific means it has only one species. So you all know in this scientific name this is genus and this is species. So this plant Cannabis sativa has only one species which is sativa, but it has several subspecies. So we have Cannabis sativa, which is a genus and species, and then we have a subspecies sativa. So we call it as Cannabis sativa, Cannabis sativa indica, Cannabis sativa rudralis, Cannabis sativa spontanea, and Cannabis sativa Capharis tanca. Right. So we have these different subspecies. These are all the subspecies of the plant Cannabis sativa, but the Cannabis sativa plant is monospecific in nature. Means it has only one species, but there are several subspecies of this plant. Right. Now we are going to see what is the major active principal component of this plant. What do we mean by the active principal component? Active principal component of the plant cannabis sativa. अब आप मेरी एक बात समझो, सपोज ये एक प्लांट है, ठीक है, आई एम ड्राइंग इट एज एन हर्ब, ठीक है, यहाँ पे इट हैज दिस स्टेम, ओके, यहाँ पे इसकी कुछ लीव्स एंड लीफलेट्स हैं, ठीक है, यहाँ पे देयर इज अ फ्लावर and there are these leaves here also on the top and we have leaves all over and then we have roots. Okay, this is suppose a plant and we have many flowers. Okay, it's not that we have one. So we have this plant, suppose this is the plant of Cannabis sativa. This is a plant. How is this plant acting as a drug? How is this plant Cannabis sativa acting as a drug? So from this plant there is one chemical which is called, there is actually a group of chemicals which are called cannabinoids, right? These cannabinoids are the group of chemicals which are extracted from the plant of Cannabis sativa, and in this group of cannabinoids, we have some drugs, or I would call it drugs of abuse, which actually act at our different parts of our body, which acts as a drug to, suppose, for I say in the case of cannabis sativa is a psychoactive drug. So it acts on our brain, on our central nervous system. So this group of compounds called cannabinoids, it is a larger family. If I talk about it chemically, it is a group of terpenophenolic compounds. It would have a terpene group, it would have a phenol ring, and it is the basic structural chemical classification of cannabinoids. So all these cannabinoids are these terpenophenolic compounds, right? And there are more than 85. There are more than 85 compounds which constitute this family of cannabinoids. मतलब कि ये जो प्लांट है ना कैनबिस सटाइवा, इसमें से मोर देन 85 तरीके के कंपाउंड्स एक्सट्रैक्ट करे जाते हैं, which comes under the family of cannabinoids. ये कैनाबिनॉइड जो है, इनका जो स्ट्रक्चर है, इनका जो केमिकल प्रॉपर्टी है, इट बिलोंग्स टू द क्लास ऑफ टर्पिनोफिनॉल्स, राइट? अब इस पूरी क्लास में से देयर इज वन कंपाउंड डेल्टा 9 ट्रांस THC, टेट्रा हाइड्रो कैनाबिनॉल। ये जो पूरी 85 कंपाउंड्स की एक क्लास है, इसमें से एक कंपाउंड है डेल्टा 9 ट्रांस THC। ये कंपाउंड इज एक्चुअली रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर क्रिएटिंग द साइकोएक्टिव इफेक्ट ऑन द ह्यूमन नर्वस सिस्टम। तो ये जो कंपाउंड है ट्रांस डेल्टा 9 THC, ये कंपाउंड हमारे सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम पे एक्ट करता है और हमें अलग अलग एक्सपीरियंसेस देता है, जो कि हम आगे बात करेंगे कि what is the impact of this drug on human body. We'll talk about it later. But it is a psychoactive compound that you should know as of now. Psychoactive मतलब जो हमारे सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम को स्टिमुलेट करे, राइट? उसको एक्टिव करने में हेल्प करे. इट्स नॉट एक्चुअली अ स्टिमुलेंट, इट इज अ ब्रॉड, इट फॉल्स इन मेनी क्लासेस as it gives different reactions, or you can say different experiences when taken. It's not only a stimulant, right? But it is broadly called as a psychoactive compound. So this compound trans delta 9 THC is the major cannabinoid which is responsible for the classification of this plant under the drug of abuse, right? Now that we got to know that, okay, the active principal component of the plant cannabis sativa is delta 9 trans THC, right? If this chemical is present in this plant cannabis sativa, and this chemical produces a psychoactive impact on our central nervous system of humans, that is why this plant is under control, and there are several other things that I would be teaching you. So it is all because of this chemical delta 9 trans THC, right? Now, do you think that this chemical compound is distributed evenly in this whole plant, or does flowers have more delta 9 THC, or leaves have less, or the roots have less? What is the distribution of this chemical delta 9 trans THC within the plant cannabis sativa, right? So, for the plant cannabis sativa, the pistillate flowers. Why I am calling them pistillate flowers? Pistil is a part of female reproductive system, right? But this plant, Cannabis sativa, is actually a dioecious herb. What do I mean by dioecious herb? Dioecious herb means the female and the male flowers grow on different plants. So there will be one female plant on which there will be female flowers, and there will be one male plant on which there will be male flowers, right? So there are these two separate plants. So the maximum concentration of delta 9 trans THC is found in the pistillate flowers. In pistillate flowers, we are having 10 to 12% of the composition of delta 9 trans THC. I would be teaching you all what is delta 9, what is trans, why are we calling it like that, how many isomers are there, what is the importance of delta 9. I would be teaching you all of that, right? So don't worry about that. As of now, understand that this is the chemical compound that we are talking about currently, right? After pistillate flowers, leaves comes next. Leaves are having the percentage composition of 1 to 3% of delta 9 trans THC within them. Then there comes stalk. Stalk has around 0.1 to 1% concentration of delta 9 THC. And then comes roots. Roots have less than 0.03% composition of delta 9 trans THC. What it means is that this chemical compound would be present in the whole plant, right? But the concentration of this chemical would vary upon which part of the plant we are talking about, right? So if we are talking about pistillate flowers, we are getting maximum concentration of this chemical. We are talking about leaf, थोड़ा concentration कम होगा. We are talking about stalk में और concentration कम है. And then we come to roots में सबसे कम concentration of this chemical है. ठीक है? अब हम ये समझते हैं कि हम इस केमिकल की ये जो ट्रांस डेल्टा 9 THC है, why are we so concerned about its concentration all over the plant? In the starting of the video, I told you several terms. I told you ganja, I told you charas, I told you hashish oil. Do you know what that is? So from the plant Cannabis Sativa, right, the active principal component is trans delta 9 THC. But depending on from which part of the plant this chemical is being obtained, there are different drugs that are encountered in the forensic science laboratories, in the streets, whatever you say, right? So the chemical compound or the drug with the highest concentration of delta 9 trans THC, which comes under the category of cannabis sativa, is hashish oil. It has around 50% concentration of delta 9 trans THC. Then comes charas. Charas has about 20 to 40% composition of delta 9 trans THC. After charas, there comes ganja. Right? Ganja has a composition of about 15 to 20% or 25% of delta 9 trans THC. Then comes bhang. Bhang is the least concentrated form, 10 to 15% of delta 9 trans THC. And there is also this one sweet which is termed as majoon. Majoon is a sweet which is made from bhang. So it has also same composition as bhang, like percentage composition of this active principal component is around 10 to 15%. And then there is one least concerned also, which is called hemp. Hemp is of no use to us. Hemp has less than 1% composition of THC. It is mostly used for industrial purposes. Its seeds and fibers are used for several industrial purposes. Hemp is not at all used as a drug of abuse, right? What are we concerned about is hashish oil, charas, ganja, and to an extent bhang. And Whether we are concerned about bhang or not, it also depends upon which country we are talking about, right? So, in my next video, I would be teaching you what is hashish oil, what is charas, what is ganja, what is bhang, from which parts of the plant they are obtained, and what is the use of these plants, like how they are categorized and classified under the NDPS Act, and what all we need to know about it for preparing for the exam of UGC NET JRF and for Fact and Fact Plus. Stay tuned for my next video.